Good afternoon. From the KUOW newsroom, this is Seattle Now, and we have a new mayor-elect in the city. I'm Paige Browning with a roundup of today's top stories. It's Thursday, November 13th. Starting today with the big political moment we've been waiting for. After one of the closest elections in recent city history, Seattle has its next mayor. Incumbent Bruce Harrell conceded the race to Katie Wilson in a speech this afternoon. In an hour-long address, in a fairly even-keeled tone, Harrell talked about his accomplishments and then said he called Wilson earlier today.
I let her know that our team is standing by to begin the transition work without hesitation and that I look forward to welcoming her to City Hall in the near future, and I wish her well, and it was a very delightful conversation. So I feel very good about that conversation, and I feel very good about the future for this country and this city still. That is the attitude we have to have, and I hope that everyone that could hear the sound of my voice feels the same.
Wilson followed soon after with a victory speech. She told supporters she would take office with a strong mandate for universal childcare, improved mass transit, safe public spaces, and affordable housing.
Collectively, I believe we will be stepping into office with a strong mandate to tackle the affordability crisis, meaningfully address homelessness, and build a city for working people. There's something that I've said repeatedly throughout this campaign. I am a community organizer, and I will not stop being a community organizer when I step into the mayor's office.
Mayor-elect Wilson has pledged to create 4,000 units of emergency housing, including 1,000 tiny homes. She also pledged to seek new progressive revenue to offset cuts by the Trump administration. Also top of news today, a Red Cup Day strike. Starbucks baristas at several Seattle stores are on strike today, calling for a contract with the company. Casey Martin reports.
What do we want? A contract! When do we want it? Now!
Cold, drizzling rain didn't stop baristas at the U District Starbucks from marching Thursday morning. Emma Cox has worked for the coffee giant for 7 years and is a union organizer. They said negotiations have stalled for months.
I want to see a living wage. I want to be able to live in this city, pay for groceries, go out on a Saturday night, because right now I'm just working and sleeping and trying to budget my way through working at Starbucks.
The union declined to say how much of a raise they're asking for. A Starbucks spokesperson said the union represents a small percentage of the workforce and claims most employees are happy with low turnover. They said the strike would not slow down service on Red Cup Day, one of the busiest days of the year. The union is throwing a rally this afternoon on Capitol Hill, where Seattle Mayor-elect Katie Wilson is expected to show up in support. In the U District, I'm Casey Martin, KUOW News.
The shutdown is over. The longest federal government shutdown in U.S. history ended last night, and most Dems aren't happy. U.S. Representative Marilyn Strickland says the recently approved budget plan to reopen the federal government will hurt millions of people. The congresswoman voted yesterday against the bill, as did most Democrats, because it lets health care subsidies expire. One Washington state Democrat voted yes, Representative Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez from Southwest Washington. She said she broke ranks because she wants to build an economy where people aren't yanked around by partisan interests. Both of Washington's Republican representatives voted to reopen the government. The shutdown may be over, but flight cancellations at SeaTac Airport continue. FlightAware is listing 66 cancellations today. The FAA warned that they're keeping flight reductions at 6% through the week as air travel slowly returns to normal. A health note you should know about tonight. The flu is circulating, and a person has died of the flu in Snohomish County. The woman in her 60s had underlying health conditions and is now the second person in Washington state to die from the flu this season. Flu activity usually peaks between December and February, so health officials are urging people to get flu shots now. More than 500 people died last season in Washington from flu complications. Big money for little kids going to school today. Former Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer's philanthropy will donate $1.7 billion to support Washington's free preschool program. Governor Bob Ferguson says those funds will allow the state to admit 10,000 more children to the program, increasing its enrollment to nearly 25,000.
It's going to take time to ramp up to realize the full magnitude of the gift and the partnership. But we are going to be, moving heaven and earth to make that happen.
Ferguson says lawmakers still have to vote to accept the gift, but he's confident that'll happen. The Early Childhood Education and Assistance Program, or ECAP, combines early learning with health screenings, nutrition support, and family services for low-income families. As Washington State prepares to roll out its first-in-the-nation long-term care fund, voters have given the state permission to invest the premiums it collects into the stock market. Spokane Public Radio's Owen Henderson has more.
WACARES started collecting 58 cents from every $100 a worker earns 2 years ago. But that fund's growth is limited by the state constitution, which largely bans investing public money in private companies' stock. The government bonds and treasury bills it can currently invest in are less risky and therefore earn lower returns. But statewide vote tallies show about 58% of voters approved giving WACARES an exemption from that rule. Proponents say this change will let the state keep worker premiums low while still keeping the program sustainable in the long term. In a meeting Wednesday, an investment officer told the WACARES Oversight Committee that the State Investment Board is getting ready to launch a study on stock market investment strategies. That study is scheduled to wrap up next fall, shortly after WACARES begins sending out payments in July. I'm Owen Henderson reporting.
And bummer news today for Mariners fans. Catcher Cal Raleigh did not win American League MVP. The award went to New York Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge. Raleigh led Major League Baseball with 60 home runs this season. He also shattered the single-season records for most home runs by a catcher and most by a switch hitter. The last Mariner to win MVP was Ichiro in 2001. Next time on Seattle Now, it's Casual Friday. We'll talk about the chaos at SeaTac Airport and airports across the country just in time for holiday travel.
You just have to expect that things are going to be a little unhinged these days. What is your strategy for traveling?
It's me versus everyone.
Hear that and more tomorrow morning. That's all for today from the KUOW Newsroom in Seattle. Our producer is Andy Hurst, and I'm Paige Browning. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. See ya.